I'm Mihir Joshi, and you are with me on the MJ show. And with me right here are Purab and Kirti.
The rider, Purab the rider.
Purab the rider, camel rider, and Kirti who plays Kesar in this fantastic Tigress in this fantastic new film that's coming out very soon. I'm really excited about it. So we've talked a whole bunch about the film in part 1. If you've not seen that, check that out first. And I'm going to continue that conversation. I had to ask you this. What was your camel called?
The first one I learned to ride was Raja, and the second one, which was used in the film, is Bhutia. My whole initiation into Kutch, actually, Mir, happened through camels.
Oh yeah?
Because I went to Kutch with Girish for the first, when Girish and me were talking about the film, and he said, I want you to play this part. It was 2 months to the shooting, and I said, okay, if you want me to start working towards this character fast, I need to go to Kutch. So he said, come, I'm going tomorrow for a recce, come with me. So while he was exploring locations, I was going around and exploring people and gestures and things about Kutch that I could incorporate into Bakka. So one of the first things I did, because I knew I had to ride a camel in the film, I said I need to learn how to ride a camel. And they said, okay, there's one of the local coordinators, Praveen Bhai, he's a Rabari himself. So he said, मेरे पास 40 ऊँट हैं और मेरे 2 आदमी हैं जंगल में संभालते ऊँट को, आप सुबह जाइए शाम तक वापस आ जाइए. And how many days you want to go in the morning, come back. I said, why? I'll stay there for 2 days. So I moved into the forest. I stayed there for 2 days. I was living, so that's where and also the base, the foundation of Bakka's character comes from that camel herder. There's a guy called Rakha who I hung out with and I spent time with over there. There were 2 of them, Bachchan and Rakha, but Rakha is where, if you meet Rakha, you will see where Bakka came from.
Very, very cool. And of course...
and he's also fully in touch with his camels. The Raja is his camel. So I learned to ride on Raja, but I rode Bhutia in the film.
Very, very cool. Also, massively manly moustache that he gets to twirl around.
A great Indian moustache.
Purab is looking the hottest in the film that he has ever looked.
But to be fair, he just said, that everybody who comes out of the film is always raving about how beautiful.
I'll tell you 2 questions we get asked. One is, तुम्हारी हीरोइन इतनी सुंदर है. अच्छा, हीरो कौन है? They ask me only that. Hero कौन है? I say, I promise you that happens. Because nobody recognizes Bakka. They don't recognize me
without his muchi.
So I've made jokes also saying that वो actor भी बहुत busy है, तो मैं promotion के लिए मुझे hire किया गया है.
And we almost like have a mutual admiration society. तू मेरी तारीफ करना, मैं तुम्हारी तारीफ करूँगी.
So okay, now as I was saying earlier, that you guys obviously got even if it was with a massive group of people, you spend a lot of time with each other, whether at the movie, post that, traveling to film festivals. Incidentally, the film has been shown in which all film festivals?
Busan International Film Festival, South Korea, and IFFI, Goa.
And also at the India Pavilion in Cannes, but that was not a selection. It was at the India Pavilion.
Okay, and it's been received really well everywhere that it has been shown. You also had a few screenings that have happened, and you've got great feedback. So how has this dynamic sort of helped you? I mean, have you become very good friends? And
Kirti is pointing this out right now, but I've noticed it in many of my films actually. When you're actually shooting a film, you're so focused in being your part and your character, and you have to be within that ego space of yours. An actor, it happens to him or her very subconsciously. We're so focused on your part, so you kind of just block everything out. At least that's how I work. Everything else blocks out. So it's actually times like this when you're marketing the film, when you're talking about work already done. So there's no thinking, there's no major self-work required over here. You're just yourself. You're coming and talking about a film that you've already shot. So this is the time when you can actually just hang out, do masti. So in fact, we've been doing some trips with Saida. She's sitting off camera right now, but we've done a couple of trips. Kirti and I have done a couple of trips, and Kirti and I have just come back from 3 days of traveling. So she's also seeing now this new side of Purab. He's a lot more friendlier than he is on the set.
No. I always thought he was friendly. I just thought I wasn't of his IQ level. That's why he wasn't interacting.
That you want. But
okay, so one thing about him while the filming was being done, one thing about him that really annoyed you and one thing that you liked.
One thing that I found was like whatever, was like he used to be in his own zone. Like he doesn't give a shit about anybody. At the end of the day, it's him and his space, and nobody can access it.
Okay.
So he used to almost
go
go
that
like
so many times.
So isolation.
That's
not there.
No, it's not there. And one thing I loved about him, his focus. Nothing could take him away from that, and it was amazing.
If you look at it, even the negative thing that you said sort of leads into the positive thing that you said.
Exactly.
Very cool. And the same for you?
For me, one thing always upsets me about women actors is that they take their makeup and all that. I mean, they're women, they take time to get ready and they take their time, and as a male actor waiting,
I'm hoping you say something else after that.
And the thing I really liked about Kirti, and I think because I think my performance betters when I work with good actors. You know, when I see a performance, it's like almost that you feel pressured, but you use that pressure to up your own performance when the actor with you is giving so much and is so in the scene. And you see the film, man, she's superb in the film. She's
But
really,
no.
really superb.
But just let me clarify. The first thing that you didn't like about me was I would take so much of time to get ready.
No, generally women actors take that time, so that bothers me with all women. I'm generalizing that. It's not something I personally like about you.
Peace.
That's a problem I have generally with women
that's
actors.
yeah.
So actually I'm saying I have no problem with you. That's the hidden underground
Exactly.
message.
It goes into this and that, and the
But
negative into
understand,
positive.
Forget actors. This is life. Tell me, you okay? You
बहुत वक्त बताया हमने गाड़ी में वेट कर करके.
हाँ वही ना कितना टाइम ले.
झूठ है ये.
See,
क्योंकि
women take
मुझसे
time
ज्यादा
because
मुझसे
they can.
I'm reacting because
For all
he
women
used to be
time?
the one who used to Kalpesh get the mirror in
What
front of him
nonsense.
before every shot.
You can call
Every
Kalpesh
shot he
if I
used to
look-
bring
if
the
I look
bring
at
the
the
mirror.
once also on the set.
Shut up.
When do I look at the mirror on the set?
Your
I love
hair
this.
and your
Never,
moochie
ever.
and your
Moochie, yeah. The moochie I was a bit conscious. There's a great story behind the moustache. Whenever I have friends, I have friends who are my childhood friends I went to school with, and friends I went to college with. They're still very close buddies of mine.
Yeah.
I go to their houses, they come to my house, and there's some of them whose watchmen I have lots of fights with when I go to the building, because whenever I go to park inside, they never allow me to park. Especially one building friend of mine.
Huh.
But when I was shooting Jal, I had this big mustache. Those same fellows would salute me every time I came to the building. They didn't
Oh
recognize
my
me. It was
God,
weird.
I don't believe that.
In India, the mustache has that impact.
It does.
If you have a mustache, it's a symbol.
You're a
of
mard.
You're a mard. You're a
You're a
man.
mard.
You know, it's that kind of thing. And when it's a grand mustache like that.
Let's get to the music of the movie, because the MJ show has always sort of centered around musicians and music, and I wanted it that even when we meet with actors, I believe that every actor, every person for that matter, has a soundtrack to their life. At each age group, I mean whatever age you are, when you're at your teenage level, when you grow up a little bit, there's some sort of music that you remember is going to be sort of the soundtrack to that point of time in your life. So let's talk about the soundtrack of this last couple of years of your life, and how has the music been in this film, and what have you been listening to beyond that as well in these last couple of years? So firstly, about the film, the music of the film.
The music of the film is it's like a, I mean, if you put the whole 2 hours of background score in a CD, you would still be able to hear it and enjoy it. It's like a soundtrack in itself. Like
Right.
you don't have to, it doesn't have to have visuals to it for you to feel it.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that's the beauty of the music. It's
Wow.
done by Sonu Nigam and Bikram Ghosh, who are legends in their own right.
Absolutely, and I think this is the first time that
Yeah.
Sonu Nigam is coming on board as a music director.
His
I
first
think-
film that he signed on.
First film.
I think the sounds of the film are very earthy, are very, as I say, zameen se jude hue, are very raw.
Okay.
And yet it's almost like I feel the best work is done when there's a lot of effort that's gone into it, and at the end of it, it looks effortless.
Wow.
So I think that's what is the music. That's how it is. It's blending in so beautifully, yet enhancing the film, and yet making its own individual mark.
Very
so
good.
it's beautiful.
Very good.
I'll just add something to that.
Please,
about
please.
The music of the film, because I think the music of the film is something that brings a very, very third person sort of character, not third person, but that's the wrong way to define it, but a very strong character to the film, and that character holds a lot of dignity, aesthetic. It's really, you can see it. It's almost, you can see the music come from behind you and make you feel things.
Right.
And like Kirti said, it comes from the usage of the instrumentation, and since the background score's been mostly done by Vikram Bhai, he's a percussionist.
Yeah.
So it's got a great rhythm to it. It brings the whole rhythm into the film.
Very
And
good.
then shifting back to your next question, which is the rhythm of our lives.
Yeah.
In my life, at least, I speak for myself
Yeah.
right now, which is in a strange sort of way, maybe because of Jal also, and hearing those percussions, and hearing also the instrumentations, a lot of Indian instrumentations.
Yeah.
There's some great talent also. I'll get back to the music of the film. There's some great talent that's worked on the film, on the music of the film.
Okay.
But somehow I have been, in the last 6 to 8 months, I've always looked at Indian classical music as, acha, okay, it's puts me to sleep kind of thing. But over the last 8-10 months to a year, I don't know, I've been listening to Gundecha Brothers, and I've been listening to the Sarod, Amjad Ali Khan, you know, just Bade Ghulam
just
Ali.
discovering how amazing it
And
is.
discovering a whole new world, you know, and
Wow.
and to see how that music, you know, because when you listen to electronic music, it makes you feel a certain way, and it's mostly heady kind of stuff. You listen to jazz, it's more bassy kind of stuff. I don't know, it's like Indian classical music has the ability to make all your chakras oscillate, you know, like inside from within, just like it's like magic that's erupting like a volcano inside you.
True, true.
And I'm discovering it that now.
Wow.
At 35 years, I'm discovering the beauty and the joy of listening to Indian classical music. I listen to it like a lot.
Wow.
Like, and all my crew that's around me, they're all listening to it now because it plays in my makeup van, it plays in my house when they come home, it plays in other sets of shooting. So I think that is really churning me up nowadays.
Very cool, very
That's
cool.
getting in, my rhythm is getting into that space. And then coming back again,
Yeah,
I like to talk a lot.
that's
I've
nice.
noticed.
That makes my life easier. Go for it.
I used to be an anchor for many years. Coming back to the music of Jal, great talents, and I think very well classically trained talents working on it. Of course, Bikram and Sonu Bhai, both of them. Sonu Nigam, living legend.
Correct.
Bikram Ghosh, also a legend in his own right.
Yeah.
You have Shobha Mudgal singing the title track.
The title track, yeah.
Powerful, powerful voice.
Yeah.
And when she sings it, it makes you shake in the seat.
I can imagine, yeah.
And then there's Ustad Ghulam Mustafa Khan Sahab, who sung another very beautiful love song which Kirti and it's picturized on me and Kirti. I think we're lucky to have that song.
Absolutely.
What a beautiful song that is.
I don't think you've ever heard a love song like that in Indian cinema.
Wow, can't wait to hear it.
His voice. It's magical.
And the way it's matched with Suzanne's voice, you know, like it's like Indian classical with English.
His English
Wow.
song is
Like,
called You Fill
My Life.
Wow.
And it starts like Akhiyan Tohari.
Can I hear you sing a
I
bit?
can't
Purab
sing
was
that
telling
song.
me.
No, Mihir,
No, she'll sing the title track.
Actually, you'll sing a little bit of the title
You know,
track.
my voice is like really.
See, the viewers of the MJ show will not be satisfied if one of my guests at least doesn't sing.
And if
a
I
little
sing,
bit.
they'll be really dissatisfied. So it's better you sing.
So Kirti, a little bit of the title. And don't worry, no pressure. Nobody's judging you. We just want to hear.
Yeah,
the track.
right. Nobody's judging
You
me.
better sing well, okay? You better sing well,
We
okay?
just want to hear the track and we want to hear you sing. So go for it.
So much of pressure, man. I'm not a singer, guys. Please spare
Nobody's
me.
watching. She's in her bathroom
Yeah,
and
nobody's.
she's singing. Okay, nobody's watching. Okay, shit.
She's in the bathroom and nobody's and we are watching.
Okay, no pressure. Go
God.
for it. Go for it.
Yeah, right.
Foot in the mouth.
I'm not
moment
in
for
my
me.
bathroom.
Yeah.
जल दे जल दे जल दी जल दे जलने ना दे जल ही जल दे. That's all I can sing. Sing, let's sing together, come on.
Chalo, let's
sing
sing. But by the way, that was really,
No,
really
please,
nice.
Mihir.
And I'm not kidding. Seriously.
I will sing
Purab,
for you
Purab.
on your show.
Honestly, wasn't
Yeah,
that
I've been
line
telling her
done
from the
well?
last 7 days when we've
So chalo.
been
Yeah,
going to
because he
radio
wants
stations.
me to be the bakra, no?
नहीं एक line दोनों साथ
sing
में.
that.
अरे no bakra, I'm applauding
Okay,
you
Bakri.
seriously. Go for it.
I'll
One
sing
more
it,
time.
come on.
चलो.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
जल दे जल दे जल दी जल दे जलने ना दे जल ही जल दे. ये नहीं गा सकती. I think we should leave that to Sonu Nigam.
I don't know. Yeah, let him
We'll
do
mess
it.
it up further.
I'm so glad
Thappad marega
both of
Sonu.
them have been awesome sports that they at least sang this part for me. Very, very cool. So I wanted to know a little bit about the music of the film, which you told me sufficiently about. Okay, one last thing. Let's just do something fun. Okay, now beyond.
Please do.
Yeah, beyond Jal. And keeping it in the music space. Now he told me he's listening to classical music. What are you listening to?
I think it has to be Sufi.
Sufi?
I've been listening to a lot of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan for last.
Is it again an influence, like he said, because of the space that you were in with the film, with the music of the film? Is that the reason why you're into Sufi?
No,
right
I think it's more to do with the space I'm in life generally. I mean, Jal has, of course, been a part of our lives for the last 3 years, undoubtedly, and last 1 year has seen a lot of good things happening for Jal. So obviously, it's great.
Nice.
But I think otherwise, it's the space I'm in life where I want to, where I want to feel more connected to something
Bigger.
more deeper, more
Yeah.
which has.
But
come
I think for me it was definitely an association with being in Kutch. The
Which
Kutch is
helped.
quite a Sufi place, man.
Wow.
Really
yeah,
quite-
it's very mystical and very surreal, and it's
It's
yeah.
like like a mirage. You know, you go into the land and it's just like, whoa, is it or is it not?
It's a trip.
Very cool, very cool. So okay, that's pretty much all that I wanted to ask you in terms of the film and everything. I really hope that everybody who watches the film loves it. Go and watch it in a theater because it's a massive film. If you see the trailer itself, you'll realize what I'm talking about. Massive landscapes and beautiful
It's
things.
made for cinema.
It's made
Yeah.
for
It's
cinema.
ma-
Thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
time with me.
Thank you,
very
Mihir.
much.
Pleasure.
I had a blast talking to you guys, and looking forward to listening to the music of the film just a little while later. Hopefully, we'll get Sonu Nigam and Bikram Ghosh on the MJ show soon, and we'll talk to them about the making of the music of this film. But honestly, so much fun. Best of luck for the film.
Thank you,
Thank
Mihir.
you,
Thank you
Mihir.
very much.
we'll meet and talk more later on again.
Yes, thank you.
That's all the time I have for you guys today. Everyone's on Twitter
At Kulhari Kirti.
Kulhari Kirti
At Purab_Kohli.
Purab_Kohli. The film has a Twitter handle as well. It's at Jal De
Jal De
Film.
Film.
Yeah.
At Music Man Me, write to us, tell us what you think. Jal De Film also has a Facebook page, as do I. Get on there, give your feedback, tell them what you think, tell her how pretty she looks, tell them how awesome his mustache is, and talk about the camel as well. And subscribe to the channel and stay with us. Keep coming back and checking out all the shows that we have right here on the MJ Show.